Yeah. Let's hear a big round. Big round of applause for Barrett Anderson. That was so cool. I love that song.
All right.
The Mississippi song.
Yeah.
That was very, very cool.
Thank you.
I want a copy of that. How come I don't have that song? Is that somewhere on a
I
on a
can help
CD?
you out with that one. It is somewhere on a
right.
CD. The CD's called All the Way Down, and yeah, I can certainly hook you up for sure.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
And Barrett, it's really nice to have you here.
It's really nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Okay, congratulations, by the way. Boston Music Awards.
Yeah.
You took Blues Artist of the Year.
I did, and that was last time I saw you there. I think
that-
the first time we met, actually, was down at the Liberty Hotel last month.
Yes, was it last? No, was that last month?
Yeah.
Man, can you believe that?
We can call it last year.
Yeah, seriously, it seems like a long time ago. It really does.
It does. Well, we've had a lot of snow in between. That makes time
That's
seem a
it.
lot longer.
The whole year changed with that, didn't it?
Right.
Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, that was terrific. You know, a real honor, and just a great night, a great surprise for sure.
I know. You weren't expecting that at all.
Not in the least. You know, I think that there was a very active sense of not expecting anything. You know, you didn't want to get your hopes up. You know, and I mean, frankly, getting nominated was just such a great honor. I was perfectly satisfied with that. But I mean, winning was just a thrill, and you know, leading up to that night at the Liberty, you know, you started to get a little sense that something might be happening. But even you know, a friend coming up to me and saying, "I smell victory in the air," and you know, it's like, he says that to everyone. You know, that doesn't mean anything. And,
what gave you the little sense? What was it that gave you that little sense that something was in the air?
Well, I mean, that was one of them. That comment. I wasn't sure if this was just I got a VIP pass and an artist pass instead of just the regular ticket, and I don't know if that was just you know, someone sending me the wrong passes, but you know, kind of looking around and realizing that my friends who were also nominated didn't have the same you know, tags hanging around their neck as I did. You know,
wow, little signs.
Bits, you
okay. So you'd be a hard person to throw a surprise party for, wouldn't you? You'd
You'll
figure
have to
it
find
out.
You never know.
And I'll bet you knew what all your Christmas presents were when you were a little kid, too.
No.
We're talking to Barrett Anderson on WAAF Face Day Rock. And tell us a little bit about what led up to this. Have you... a little bit about your career here in Boston.
Well, I grew up in Central Mass, in a small town out by the Quabbin, and started playing guitar when I was about 13. And my dad quickly, you know, got me into blues music. He said, you know, I think it was Buddy Guy. He said, you should listen to this guy, and I did, and you know, the proverbial world changed from that point on.
Yeah.
My first experience playing professionally was at the Old House of Blues in Harvard Square, getting to back up some members of Muddy Waters' old bands when I was 15. And
wow,
there's a real community to blues. You know, I feel like all of these kind of connections, these people that I've met and bands that I've gotten to play with or be a part of, can all be kind of traced back, you know, to like that first time at the House of Blues. But I got to know some people, and you know, and the web kept growing, and I got to spend 3 years playing with Ronnie Earl and the Broadcasters, which was a real honor. Ronnie was a hero of mine, and is a brilliant guitar player.
Holy cow!
After that, I spent 3 years with the Monster Mike Welch Band, and then, you know, was ready to start being a front man instead of a side man. So this was, at this point, after the time in Ronnie and with Mike, I was in my, you know, kind of mid-20s, and
that's a lot of living in music world. That really is for such a a young guy.
Well, and it's a good area to be into blues. You know, there are a lot of great musicians live here. Are a lot of great clubs here, and especially, you know, when I was growing up, there were a lot of national acts coming through. It was easy to go out and to hear people and get to learn every night of the week.
Yep.
You know? But I went down to North Mississippi first and spent some time down there and recorded my first album with some musicians down there. I got Jimbo Mathis to produce the record. He was part of that swing revival in the 90s. He was the leader of the Squirrel Nut Zippers. And so we recorded all the way down, and then I came back up here and hooked up with Ron Levy and Per Hansen, who recorded the new album, The Long Fall. We've been playing together now for about 5 years.
Wow.
And, you know, the more we got to play together, I had been thinking that I needed to make a new album for a little while, and playing with Ron and Per, I started to get a vision for, I started to be able to imagine what the new album would sound like. And so we got the great Dennis Brennan to produce it, and went into the studio about a year and a half ago, and then in September released The Long Fall, which I think really captures well what we've been doing in the clubs up here.
That's a nice. You just kept moving forward and building,
Yeah.
and that's really, really nice. And I'm glad that you spoke of this and gave a little bit of actually a good history of where you came, how you came into it, and where you are now, and a major transition too, playing with major, established artists, and then going off on your own. I mean, that is a major transition to leave all of that and start your own projects.
Well, it really it is. It's a good education, when you're getting to watch what these people are doing from from a few feet away, and if you pay attention, you can really pick up little things every with every note.
That's something. That's just amazing. So what are your plans now? You've got 2 CDs out.
I do, and yeah, the plans are to keep playing. I've been booking more shows. I this month had some great nights at some of my favorite spots in Cambridge, Toad and Porter Square, and Atwood's outside Inman Square.
Yeah, love Atwood's.
Last night I was actually just down the street from where we are here at Smokin' Joe's barbecue.
Smokin' Joe's. Yes.
And those are some of my very favorite spots. And I try to always have a date on the books with them, and so there will be shows there coming up. And ideally, especially the Boston Music Award, I think makes this a little bit easier. There's some good momentum and energy right now. I'd like to record a live album in the upcoming year. I think the studio records are great and very representative of one side of things, and there's and the live thing is something else, and so I'd like to capture that and keep moving forward. Keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on. Where would you like to? What is your ideal spot to record a live blues album? Have you pondered where you'd want to do that? I mean, you as a musician, you have to know, and doing a lot of the local venues. You have to you must have a feel of what the best sound is.
Absolutely.
And so right off the top of your head.
I'm partial to Atwood's.
Yeah.
And that's as much from an emotional point as anything else too. That was when I came back from Mississippi and was getting the solo thing going up here. Atwood's was the first spot to get me up on stage.
Nice.
And I feel like they really kind of jump started a lot of the solo stuff, the career, and so that club holds a very special spot in my heart, and emotionally, I think that would be a wonderful room to play at, and it sounds good. They have good people working there. I feel similarly about the Lizard Lounge as well.
Oh, yeah,
and,
good room.
And I certainly. There have been some great live records that have come out of that room too. So knowing that it it sounds good on tape or on disc. I think one of those places is will most likely be.
So there I have my answer. And now we have a little heads up on one of two. We're talking to Barrett Anderson right now on 97.7, 107.3 WAAF Bay State Rock. And you also have your bass player tonight is here with us.
I do, yes. Jim Haggerty's here on the upright bass. And
how are you? It's good to see you. Oh, that's right. Jim's behind the stand-up bass over by the wall. Bass players are usually, you're quiet over there. There you are. So where can folks see you next? Where are you planning on? When's your next show?
Let's see. The next show, I have a couple of shows coming up out in Central Mass. In Petersam is the name of the small town where I grew up. Wednesday, I'll be doing a little benefit out there for the town library, actually, which it's a good town. It's a community of about 1,200 people, and I always like going back and seeing people who I've known my whole life, and so I'll be doing that. The next thing in the Boston area is February 10th at the Skellig over on Moody Street in Waltham. I'll be playing with Mark Hickox on bass and Dave Fox and playing some of my music, and then hosting a little blues jam there.
Nice.
Yeah. And then there is a lot more coming up, but I think checking www.barrettanderson.net would be the best way to kind of keep up on that all. There's some, I'll be opening up for a couple of national people at Johnny D's and the Bull Run out in Shirley, and so yeah, barrettanderson.net will keep you apprised.
I've got to go
the
check
info.
The Bull Run. I want to check that out because I know they have all organic local farm food there too.
Oh, cool.
And their bands are so good. So it's like you can't beat good food and good music under the same roof.
Absolutely.
And non-Monsanto craps. So there you have it. Barrett Anderson in the WAF studio with us. And it's barrettanderson.com.
.net.
.net is your website.
Right.
And what a treat it is to have you in the studio.
Oh, thank you. It's a treat being here.
It was very cool. I think Barrett and I bonded immediately at the Boston Music Awards because it was total chaos and madness going on around us, and we kind of looked at each other and grinned like, yeah, it's cool. And Barrett kind of had that reassuring look like, I swear I won't mess this up, I kind of needed that reassurance. We're live on the air and things are getting dropped, and I won't even say what. But it was just great. You were my tag team on that evening, and that was really fun.
All right. Well, thank you.
And thank you so much, Barrett, for joining us tonight, both you guys. It's really a pleasure to have you in the studio with us. And next show will be February 10th. At Skellig's in Waltham.
You got it. On Moody Street.
Yep. I did. On Moody Street. That's a famous street in Waltham. Barrett Anderson joining us tonight. And Dave Crespo, you've been really, really quiet over there. Did you notice that, Barrett? Did you guys notice that?
You having a good conversation. I do want to know where your trophy is, though.
It's currently on the mantle.
Yeah?
My wife tells me I can't keep it there for long. But she's been very...
I'd like to talk with her about that.
Let's call her up.
Yeah. Oh, Dave, stay out of that.
No, if my wife was like, no, you don't have space for this.
Dave to the rescue.
Less of a manly voice. You can't put your BMA. I mean, come on.
Now, Dave, behave. You cannot,
we'll have to make room for something
cannot
better.
Go to people's houses.
Something bigger.
You can't go to people's houses and tell their husbands or wives what to do.
Is that like the proverbial you, or I can't? Because I can do that. I can physically go to
Don't let him in, Barrett. Don't let him in. Wait, you must have a song for us, Dave. Let's try to change the subject. And Barrett, is your wife listening tonight? Barrett Anderson.
I think so. She said she would be.
Dave, you're about to get your butt kicked. All right.
By a woman.
So, yeah,
that
really.
has happened before.
What do you have coming up for a song, Dave?
So there's this band, Banana Phonetic, playing out this week. They're going to be at church this coming Thursday with Jim Cotta. And I love this song. I've known this song for a while, and I would like to play it now. It's called After Party. It's by Banana Phonetic. We're on 97.7, 107.3 WAAF.
Bay Stay Rock, and big thanks to Barrett Anderson tonight, guys. Thanks.